Last season on Tune, we filmed a pickup truck. It was a Raptor, not unlike mine. And there was a bit of a brouhaha in the comments from the SRT and Ford Lightning Owners Clubs because I said, and I quote, "Sport trucks, meaning trucks for going fast on the street, are hilariously useless." Now, for the record, I still believe that. But when a kid named Matt sent me a picture of this, a GMC Canyon, and said, "I'd really like you to drive this car," I said, not really interested. But then he sent me the parts list, and I said, why would somebody put so much time and so much money into a GMC Canyon? In order to find an answer to that question, I invited him out to Malibu and asked him for a set of keys. Is this truck good for anything? Only one way to find out. Can it live up to its namesake? It is named after the place that we are right now. Although I really don't think they had that in mind. I think it was more like Grand Canyon or, you know, some kind of Roughing It Canyon, not Malibu Canyon. Now, as a work truck, there's nothing wrong with the Canyon. It's a good, small truck. It's, you know, it's full of plastic and stuff, but that's how GM cars are. So, how does it do when you try and turn it into a sports car? So it needs to do a few things, right? It needs to go fast, it needs to handle, it needs to stop, and it needs to be fun to drive. So let's see if it does those things, right? Let's start with fast. I'll come to a stop here, and we'll see if it goes fast. Whoa, it's laggy. But the speedometer doesn't lie. Once boost kicks in, yes, it is fast. Matt says it will run a 12.6 quarter mile on, quote, a poorly prepped surface, El Toro, which I agree is poorly prepped, on street tires. So figure good surface, good tires, and you're running low 12s all day. That's fast for a 5-cylinder with a bolted on turbo, basically. Now, does it stop? It has upgraded brakes, Willwoods in the front, so yes, it stops. At least once, it will stop well. I ran down the canyon earlier. The brakes got a little hot, but then again, it is a 3,600-pound truck with drums in the rear. Does it go around corners? That is what we're going to have to find out.
I've chosen to modify this truck because I kind of fell into it and I don't know any better. I inherited the truck basically from my grandmother after my grandfather passed away, and just kind of snowballed from there. Blew up the original motor, and then it just got way out of hand after that, and here we are. Squire's Turbo Systems makes the turbocharger setup. They sized everything for me and engineered it all for me, and so all I had to do was kind of put it together and fab it and run oil lines. The truck makes, I think it's 335 horsepower at the rear tire on 12 pounds of boost, and 340 foot-pounds of torque, also at the rear tire on 12 pounds.
Believe it or not, it's a very balanced build. The brakes, the suspension, the differential, the wheels and tires, all these things have been upgraded in accordance with the power. So one thing doesn't necessarily overpower the others. Would I choose to install 4 disc brakes rather than just the front 2? Yes, probably. But it's okay for what he does, which is basically drag racing. Does it go around corners? We're going to find out by taking this corner at some speed. You know, actually, a corner is reasonably flat. I'm getting shifted about in my seat because there's no bolstering. And it turns in really nice. It's going to understeer, I can tell. Yeah. You know, at reasonable speeds, maybe not racetrack speeds, but if that speedometer is accurate, then pretty fast speeds. It actually does have some grip. The Nitto tires are doing well here. We learned the biggest weakness of this truck, and that is the 4-speed automatic transmission without any kind of manual controls whatsoever. I mean, I can go to 3rd here, I can even go to 2nd, but as I'm trying to go, see, now there's neutral, yep, there's drive, okay. Just that is the level of frustration you got with that. But what are you gonna do? It's an automatic. If it was a manual, it would be a great build. Because of the automatic, it's a good build. And there's just no way around that. It's a crappy automatic, and it really does suck the fun out of the car. But that doesn't mean it isn't fast. STS turbos are good stuff, man. They make the boost. It's rear mounted, which is interesting.
Because of everything that we've been through with this truck and that it constantly fights me, I am afraid to hurt it. I know I can't hurt it, you know, and that, but the truck is so much more capable than I am. You know, I'm just an idiot that works hard and knows how to write a check. This thing is a very capable machine, and I need to bring up my skill level to match. It's got a one-off motor and turbo setup. It's got, you know, a pretty custom suspension in the front. And from here, it just gets worse.
You can't always start with the perfect car, you know? It's easy to say, well, why didn't you just buy a Corvette? Or why didn't you just buy a Miata or something? You know, here's Matt, he's flipping burgers. His grandfather leaves him a pickup truck. He's working with what he's got. And you have to respect that. A lot of young people out there have to work with what they got. But overall, I mean, look, I have to respect this build. It's a sleeper, which I love. It doesn't look like much, but it goes like hell. It does great burnouts. For what it is, the handling has certainly been improved. The braking has certainly been improved. The power's right there. Yes, it gets hot if you beat on it, but that's what happens when you put a turbo on a car that didn't originally come with one. It's just the way of the world. And it's neat. It's different. It's oddball. And while, yes, I still think that sport trucks are hilariously useless, it doesn't mean they can't be fun or they don't have a place in the world. And you really do have to respect the sleeper status of this truck. He would get me with this. He would roll up next to me and I'd go and try and roll him, you know what I mean? And he would, I mean, depending on what I'm in, who knows, but low, you know, middle 12s in a GMC Canyon, two-wheel drive. It's not even all-wheel drive. That's a good number. And I like that it works. It does get warm, but the wheels don't rub. There's no bottoming out. It rides normally. I mean, there's a little bit of a bounce because it's a leaf spring, but it feels rigid. It feels like a solidly built car. There's no rattles. There's no squeaks. Everything is like installed properly. As a daily driver / drag racer, you know, he doesn't go to the track days, but it's a neat build. And Matt gets points for that, especially because he's flipping burgers in and out and clearly dumping every dime of that into this truck. And that's cool with me. I get that.
Is the title of the truck that burger is built?
This truck was built on 60-40 beef. Secret to In-N-Out burgers, by the way, are 60-40 meat. That's why they can tell you and make it look like they're healthy, but they still taste so delicious. It's because secretly they bad. Just like this truck. It says, oh look, I'm just a truck. You don't have to worry about me. I'm just a little pickup truck. And then you just and then you just lights them up.